When we hear about the devastating toll of armed conflict, particularly on civilian populations, it is natural to question the cause and look for accountability. The suffering is immense, and the images are often heartbreaking, leading many to believe that all harm is intentional or unlawful. The direct answer is no. Not all civilian deaths in armed conflict result from indiscriminate attacks. While indiscriminate attacks are a grave violation of international humanitarian law and a significant cause of civilian casualties, other factors and circumstances also contribute to civilian harm, some of which may be deemed lawful under very strict conditions. International Humanitarian Law, or IHL, strictly prohibits indiscriminate attacks. An indiscriminate attack is one that is not directed at a specific military objective, or one that employs a method or means of combat which cannot be directed at a specific military objective, or whose effects cannot be limited. This is rooted in the principle of distinction, which requires parties to an armed conflict to always distinguish between civilians and combatants, and between civilian objects and military objectives. However, civilian casualties can also occur as incidental or unavoidable harm from a lawful attack directed at a military objective, provided such harm is not excessive in relation to the concrete and direct military advantage anticipated. This is known as the principle of proportionality. Understanding this distinction is crucial for analyzing the legality of attacks. Military commanders are obligated to take all feasible precautions an attack to avoid, and in any event to minimize, incidental loss of civilian life, injury to civilians, and damage to civilian objects. This means carefully selecting targets, choosing appropriate weaponry, and assessing the anticipated civilian harm against the expected military gain before launching an attack. These assessments must be made in good faith, using all information readily available at the time. The obligation to take feasible precautions is a cornerstone of IHL, compelling armed forces to continuously evaluate operational choices with civilian protection in mind. This includes canceling or suspending an attack if it becomes apparent that the target is not a military objective, or if the anticipated civilian harm would be excessive. It is a proactive duty that goes beyond merely refraining from indiscriminate attacks. Ultimately, while indiscriminate attacks are unequivocally illegal and a direct cause of immense civilian suffering, it is important to recognize that civilian deaths can also occur due to other factors such as collateral damage, violations of proportionality, or even unintentional accidents within lawful military operations. International humanitarian law seeks to mitigate all these forms of harm by establishing clear rules for the conduct of hostilities, always striving to protect civilians as much as possible during armed conflict.